Hi, everybody. Welcome to Conversations with Busy. I hope you enjoyed today's story. And if you do, please subscribe. Here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Conversations with Busy. It is episode 516. We have a new president, you guys. It happened yesterday. Donald J. Trump was sworn in yesterday. Oh my gosh. So January 20th, 2025, Donald J. Trump was inaugurated as the 47th president of the United States with J.D. Vance as vice president. So as you guys know, I record this on Tuesday and then I upload it and then it's up there for you guys tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning, the 22nd of January, 2025. And oh my gosh, the inauguration. I don't know about you guys, but I got up. For when I didn't really sleep that well, I got up and I was so excited. So excited. It's been a long 4 years. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it was a long 4 years. And I actually was you think about it, like I felt like you guys can call me a conspiracy theorist or whatever you want to, because now I'm just letting it all go because I'm not as scared as I was before. But, I have been like upset about what happened in 2020 for so long, like so long. It's not even funny. And I have to look and tell you guys the date of this because I don't have it in my mind. But I think back to what had happened. And in March 26, 2022, I was at a Trump rally in Cummings, Georgia with my son and his then future bride. And I think back to what it was like. Oh my gosh, for so long, you guys. It was like January, when January 6th happened years ago, I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? This is crazy. I mean, it was so crazy. And my son was working on the Hill that day. And I called him like, oh my God, what's going on? Are you okay? And he was like, Mom, it's fine. I don't know what you're freaking out over. This is kind of crazy. And so that was like the first thing that happened that made me go, oh, craziness. Cause that January 26th, and I had so much fear, right? My son was there and they were arresting people. And it was just, again, like they were arresting people that were on our steps. Like that's what I've always thought about. I went to college in Washington, D.C. I've always known about politics, for better or for worse. My grandmother was like head of the Women's Republican of Pennsylvania. She was born in 1913. So it's always been in my life, like politics and who's up for president. My father worked for Gerald Ford. So there's always been politics in my life. And I've always thought back to what it must have been like when George Washington was in office and when Abraham Lincoln was in office, and like thinking that you can just walk in and be like, hey, what's up? I'm here to see the president. I have a beef going on. I've traveled from whatever state you had traveled from, and went and knocked on the door and they let you in. And it was just like, you were part of our government, right? You were like, I elected you to do a job, just like any job you get somebody to do, right? You get somebody to do a job and you're like, please do this job for me well. And when you do, I will, I'll pay you for it or whatever. I will put my trust in you. And so many of us have put our trust in these presidents through the years. And what happened on the first, when was it, in 2020? It was just crazy, absolutely crazy. And so thinking that, and then what occurred the entire time Biden and Kamala Harris were in office, it was constant. So, to me personally, as a woman, and with what had happened in my family due to the presidency and things that happened, which I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because the people in my family have not given me permission to talk about it. But, so many things occurred in those 4 years. One at which, another thing that was so crazy to me was thinking about, the fact that I was so transparent and I was out there and I was talking about how I was feeling about the presidency. And I've had lots of people unfollow me. I've lots of people send me hate mail. And hold on, I have to make a note to myself. Hold on, you guys, I'm going to That's what happens when you get to be 56 years old. Sorry. Back to what I'm saying. But I was like fearful that something was going to happen to me because people were being arrested for like speaking out of turn. They were going to people's homes. If you didn't vote the right way, if you were speaking badly about somebody on politics, if you were talking bad about Biden or you're talking about Kamala Harris, you could be arrested. And I had that fear. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was like fearful that somebody was going to come knock on my door and be like, you're going to jail because you've been talking bad about the president, or you've been talking bad about the vice president or the presidential candidate from the Democratic Party. And I was so fearful. So for me, there was so much anticipation in what was going to happen yesterday at the inauguration. And I was fearful something was going to happen to Donald Trump. I was fearful something was going to happen to one of his kids, something was going to happen to Melania, something was going to happen to Barron, Don Jr., Eric, Tiffany, Ivanka, and so I didn't sleep well. So I got up yesterday morning and I had planned to have some friends over to celebrate because it is such a big deal for me. And I had all these balloons and put on my red, white, and blue because it was so important to me. And just thinking that all of this, Trump doing how many rallies for the past 4 years while Biden was in office, and all the hate that was going on about him and all the terrible things that were being said about him, and them trying to kill him twice, and all this animosity in our society for so long was like built up. It was like this total, like it was like a dam. It's like all this stuff kept building up and building up. And then it was happening all over the world, like not being able to talk and borders being open, and nobody had, like, anybody could go anywhere they wanted to go. It didn't matter. Nobody was vetted for anything all over the world. I mean, it happened in Canada. It happened in, every country. And I know friends that live in Dublin that had people coming over, and it was scary. And it's just, there were no grown-ups. I literally felt like for 4 years we were living in an alcoholic family where everybody, like, one person said this, another person said that, and it's like, who do we believe? Where is the common sense? There is no common sense. It was complete and utter chaos. It was uncomfortable. It was dark. For me, my opinion, it was dark. It was so dark. It was so dark. It was so many people being, thinking, just the insanity. I can't go up to think about it makes me crazy. I don't watch any other television stations because I can't do it. But then, watching it and so then yesterday, so much anticipation. It was like finally, for me, like it's finally here. This day that I've been talking about, this election that we didn't even know if it was going to take place, the COVID, the locking in of people, the stuff coming over the border, most importantly, the fentanyl, how many families were losing their children due to fentanyl. Literally, we were going through warfare. It was literally like, it was like terrorists were coming over all over, but they were bringing fentanyl, not guns, and not being told what was going on with the drones. It was like, what's going on with these drones? And nobody's telling us anything. It was like we were living in this, like, I can't tell you anything. Like, we're stupid. Like, we couldn't hear anything. It was like, wait a minute, we pay taxes, we vote you politicians in, and we're supposed to be able to ask you questions, and you talk to us like we're dumb idiot kids. And you what is that thing called these days? Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna be able to remember because it's a new term. Gaslighting, that's it. We were gaslit so many times as to be like, we don't matter, you don't care, you're not seeing this, it doesn't matter what you see because you're stupid and I'm not going to tell you anything. I mean, that's what I felt like. I mean, I felt like for 4 years it was like, you don't count, you're dumb, shut up, go in the corner and do as you're told. And if you didn't do as you were told, you might get arrested. And of course, I was one of those people who didn't give a shit and just came out there, even though I was scared that maybe I could get a knock on the door, knock, 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 we're taking you away. And that scared me because that is one of my biggest fears, is being put in prison. So I was really, really scared. So that's like 4 years of that. 4 years of like, I can't shut up. I have, I have flags. I've had flags stolen from in front of my house. I mean, I've had little lawn signs stolen from in front of my house, Finally, we put a big flag up that they can't get unless they come on our property and have to sit there, and our dogs will freak out on them. So that's not going to happen. That didn't happen, thank God. But literally people not liking you because you work for Trump. And to think all this buildup, it was literally like, think about a dam, not to talk about the Panama dams, but the dam was getting really filled with emotions. So I wanted to make sure everything was right, red, white, and blue. My Trump Vance hat with the bling, which you can see in the photo that's attached to this podcast today. But the emotions and the journey, and then getting there yesterday. And I woke up and I saw them all staying at the Blair House in Washington. And again, I got to tell you guys, which is something that's also so crazy for me. So I went to college, and I graduated college in 1992. I was there for inauguration for Bush Sr. But when I went to college, you could drive in front of the White House, right? You could drive your car right in front of the White House. In fact, I've pulled into the White House drunk before, and I pulled into the Capitol drunk before, and nobody there to be like, girls, turn around, don't be silly. But now it's like barricades upon barricades and police and all the security everywhere. Growing up, of course, it wasn't like that for me in the 80s and early 90s. There was none of this stuff. So we're sitting here. It wasn't until 2001, I think, until they put those barriers up. I might be wrong. So my dates might be wrong. So don't please take it with a grain of salt what I say. But I noticed that, for one, when I watched them panning down to Blair House, and they showed, you couldn't see them actually walking out. You could see, like they mentioned, like there's so many black cars that were ready for Trump and the family to go. Just Great Sea Church before the ceremony. And I remember and watching yesterday morning, watching Donald Trump and Melania, and she in that beautiful navy blue hat and the navy blue coat and those shoes. Oh my gosh, the shoes. I thought to myself, when Donald Trump said her feet are killing her, I'm like, no joke. I think they were 5-inch stilettos. And, but just looking at them and thinking, Grace is back. That word, they're classy, is so, to me, cheesy, because I just think it's such a cheesy thing. But what it just looked like to me is people who have respect for our government, people who love our country. They dress like they care. They dress like it's important. They knew getting up in the morning they wanted to wear something that looked presidential. The First Lady wanted to look like, I want to represent America. I am the First Lady. And she looked strong, and she looked powerful. She did not look weak. She looked stunningly classy. I mean, I think she actually might have looked classier than, again, my opinion, than Jackie O. I mean, she was just so stoic and face forward, looking straight ahead, the hat perfectly on her head, and the dress and the shoes, just amazing. So watching them walk out of Blair House in the beginning was just so, wow. I was in awe. I was actually so proud to be an American. So proud to say that I voted for this man 3 times. So proud to say, yes. We have a president that's never had a drink in his life. We have a president who doesn't have to do this job. He could be playing golf on many golf courses. He could be doing many different things, but he loves our country like I love our country, like so many people that I know love our country. It starts with love and respect for our home. This is our home. Like, my house is my home. When you walk into my home, you're going to notice that it's decorated a certain way. My lawn, it looks a certain way. The plants are planted and they're pruned a certain way that I do, because I'm proud of my home. My home isn't just this plot in Florida. Florida is in the country of the United States of America. I am an American citizen. I am proud to be an American. I'm not only proud to be a Floridian, and I was a Pennsylvanian, and I lived in Washington, D.C., and I lived in St. Louis, Missouri, and I lived in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I have always been an American, and I am proud to be an American. I have an American flag hanging out outside of my home. That never went away. During those 4 years of insanity, it never went away. And then to watch the person I voted for and his wife walk out of Blair House on their way to be sworn in as the 47th president of the United States, to me was so emotional. I cried many times yesterday. I watched TV the entire day. I'm going to tell you that. I never watched TV during the day. I had friends over. We celebrated. And it was so just the feelings of like peace came over me, serenity, like what I longed for all the time. I knew I can't get arrested anymore for saying what I feel. That's been taken away. Those 1,500 people that were arrested on January 6th are going to be freed. You know, I look at the people on January 6th as they walked up the stairs of their home. Their hard earned money pays taxes just like yours does. If you're listening to this, we all pay taxes. Those are not their places in Washington. They get to stay there because we elected them to stay there. We said yes. We as a people came together, voted them in, and said, please go do a job and speak for on our behalf. And you can stay in the house that we pay for as taxpayers. That is what we are. I don't think people are educated today to realize that. I don't know, but maybe they aren't. I don't understand it, that you could think that this is bad. Like you're happy, you would be okay with there being no Merry Christmas and no God. That's good for you, for the people that didn't vote for him. And I understand if that's the way you want to be in a dark way. I have no interest. Then I have to say, yesterday, you guys, watching the families of the people that were the prisoners, I'm going to say prisoners of war in Israel from October 7th, to see their families with their yellow scarves and seeing some of the prisoners let go and their families. You guys, that I can't. I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but what happened on October 7th in Israel, to me, was just one of the worst things that's ever happened in the world. I mean, I am half Jewish. I've been to Anne Frank's home in Amsterdam. The emotions on what happened on October 7th and those kids that were killed at a rave. My kids go to those, what are they called? EDM or whatever. Again, I might be saying that wrong, but go to Tomorrowland and all over the world. They go to these concerts to go see the music, and they go to these festivals. And to think that your children would go to a festival and people would come and kill them just because they were Jewish. Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. And there's students on colleges in the United States that were saying, it's okay it's okay. I go for Hamas. I'm like, what are we living in? Like our Twilight Zone? I mean, literally a combination of all of this that transpired in just 48 hours was so emotional to me. And watching everything go down to, everything. Barron Trump being so proud. Carrie Underwood. I mean, she is a true class act. To watch her get up and sing, no music. She's like, I know this song. Don't we know this song, everybody? And everybody came in and sang. If that isn't camaraderie, that was both sides of the aisle. Everybody sang with Carrie Underwood. Kamala Harris was singing on Underwood. Carrie Underwood, while she sang the national anthem. Joe Biden sang. Everyone. Because we are all one country. We're one country. We're one people. We need to come together as one. If you guys notice that Trump's got both sides of the aisle, both sides. One of my favorite things that happened yesterday was watching Donald Trump from the Oval Office. Now, I can't imagine how exhausted he was. I mean, I was exhausted and I sat on the couch and ate bonbons. I mean, they were all over Washington and walking all over the place and in and out and in and out. And her poor Melania, again, with the 5-inch heels. And she's going with him. She's like, now she's doing the dance and everything. I mean, I feel like they're so happy together. I don't know if I'm wrong, but it looks like it, and I'm going to go with it. But one of my favorite things was when he was in the Oval Office, and the press is in the Oval Office with him, and he's got his, and the gentleman's handing him the bills to sign, and he's taking the bill, and he's opening it up, and he's talking to the public, and he goes, "This is the bill I'm signing now. This is what this means." And Pete Dorsey is asking him questions and saying, "So what is that, Mr. President?" And then there were other reporters in the room that were asking him questions, and he'd answer them. Like we were in the Oval Office with him. Like I didn't feel like a voice. I felt like I'm there. I am a taxpayer. I am in the room while he is signing these bills. I am a part of it. Going back to Washington and Lincoln, I feel like I was part of this humongous day where we are changing America. And I don't think we're just changing America to be like what it was before. In fact, I think we're going to even have a better America. A better America, you guys. A place we can be proud of where we live. A place where our kids aren't going to want to be like, say, "Oh, I'd rather live in another country. I think it's okay what they're doing to other people." No, we need to get back to where we are one person under one country. We are all Americans. It doesn't matter what color you are, what nationality. We're all mutts, you guys. It's like my dogs, right? We all came from somewhere. Nobody's really an American except for the Native Americans. They've been here the longest. Everybody else came from somewhere, you guys. But you need to come in legally like they did originally, like my ancestors did, They came in through New York. My ancestors did, just probably like yours did. And they had to say why they were here. They'd have to check and see if they had lice or not, or if they had measles, mumps, rubella, all these things that they might have had coming over. That's how it was done when my family came to the United States from Ireland and from France. That's how they had to come through. They had to show their papers. They had to say why they were coming. And that's how it should be. Not just to run in and we don't know who you are and why you're here and what you're carrying on you. We need to know because we need to protect our people, right? That's why we elect these people to go into office. That's why we have police. That's why we have firefighters. That's why we have all these people, is because we want to be safe if something happens. Our tax dollars pay for these things so that we're safe on our soil. And I pray it stays like this. What a momentous year. And then to see Peter Dorsey say to Trump, which I thought was one of the best things ever, because I'd seen Peter Dorsey talk earlier in the day about how there might be a letter from Biden for Trump. And Pete says, Trump's like, "What's up, Pete?" And he's like, "Well, did you look and see if Biden might have left you a letter in your desk?" And he's like, "What?" And now, you guys, we're there inside the room with him. It wasn't like this is something that happened later. This was live. And you see Trump pull. He goes, "I don't know." And like every human being, "I don't know what's in my desk." And he goes and he opens the desk, and there is a letter from Biden. And he's like, "Can I read it?" And he's like, Trump's like, "No, I'll read it later and I'll share it with you guys later." But it was such an amazing day. And I am so proud to be an American. I am so proud to have voted for Donald Trump 3 times. I'm so proud to say he is my 47th president. I am so happy that I don't have to wake up in the morning going, "Am I going to get arrested for speaking my truth, for freedom of speech? No one's coming to my house and going to arrest me. It's gone. The bill's been signed." I feel like God is so good. In God, it's God. And Trump mentioned that. I don't think he mentioned God to be like, "Oh, God just picked me." I just think he wanted to say, "God watched out for me that day. And for that, I am eternally grateful. I don't take this position as the president of the United States for granted. I know God had me here for a reason, and I take my job seriously. And that's how I feel like God put him there. He's unifying us. He's got people from both sides of the aisle coming together. RFK is not a Republican. Tulsi Gabbard was not a Republican. Elon Musk was not a Republican. In fact, Donald Trump was not really a Republican either. And I listened to Billy Bush say at one point in his interview with Tucker Carlson a couple weeks ago, he said, I used to be with Trump all the time. He's like, I even went with Trump to vote once. And he said to Trump, which person did you pick? And Trump's like, I'm not going to tell you because and Billy Bush looks at him and goes, you support both of them, don't you? And he said, yes, I do, because I got to support this person who might be a Dem and this person who might be a Republican. I've got to support whoever. And he went underneath the Republican, the Republican Party because it was easier for him. And, I was so happy to see that Oscar de la Renta said, yes, Ivanka Trump is wearing one of our designs. They were proud again. To watch Mark Zuckerberg right behind him was crazy. And I'm not even going into Jeff Bezos' fiance. Oh my God, whatever. I don't know if she has a mom that helps her get dressed. Obviously not. And she doesn't have any etiquette, but she wanted to have her girls out so everybody could see them. It's like, come on, we don't want to see your tits. I'm sick of seeing other women. Like, do we all need to see everybody's stuff? Isn't that supposed to be saved for somebody else? Like you're the person that you love, not just for everybody to see. They have no dignity, but maybe that's going to come back, you guys. Maybe people are going to come back and be like, I don't need to show everything off. Let's leave something up to the imagination. Imagine that. So I am really excited about the future. I am so happy. I can't even tell you. I am so happy and so optimistic to see what's going to happen. I think it's going to be amazing. And I pray it is. And I hope you guys are praying for the same thing. And I think it's time for us to come together as a society instead of tearing each other apart anymore. And I hope you feel the same way. I have to fill you guys in on some news, though. I haven't told you guys this. Guess what? I'm starting to see clients again. I'm seeing coaching clients again. I have decided it's one of my callings. I'm really good at it. And I feel like God speaks through me. And it's a gift that I need to share with others. And so if you or someone needs a coach, life, health, and wellness, recovery, I cover it all. Let me know. I think that life is like different acts and like in a play. And I think that sometimes we need to pivot and change and go on to act 2 or act 3 or start over at act 1. And so I have a whole new set of tools I'm using to help others. And if you need help or someone needs help, please reach out at elizabeth@elizabethchance.com, or you can find my phone number if you go to my website, elizabethchance.com, and you'll find under the subheading at the top, coaching, some more information about that. And if you or someone needs some help, reach out to me. I also want you to know that you are not alone and that life is God is so good. God is so good. My Bible study is going strong. If you would like to join in this week, we're actually going to be on at 3:00 instead of, 2:00. 2:00 Eastern time, we will be doing our Bible study if you'd like to join in. The Eagles are playing at 4 p.m., so I need to be ready for that as Eagles fans. EAGLES Eagles. So I'm really, we're very excited about the Eagles coming up this weekend at 4:00 Eastern time. So we're going to be ready for that. If you want information on the Bible study, DM me or email me. If you want to come, we'd love to have you. And my newsletter. Last but not least, my newsletter is going to come out on Friday. So if you would like the newsletter to be dropped in your inbox, please subscribe. You can go to my website, elizabethchance.com. You will get the whole prompting of what you need to do to have the inbox come right into your mailbox. And please do that. And last but not least, subscribe. Please subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe to me on Spotify, Instagram. What else, you guys? iTunes, wherever you listen to your podcast, please subscribe, share it with your friends. YouTube. I'm not putting my YouTube videos on my website anymore because it was just too confusing. It wasn't going off in tandem. It was too much work, so I didn't do that. So if you want to get my videos to you every Monday or Wednesday at 6 a.m. dropped right into your email, go to YouTube and subscribe to elizabethchance.com. Elizabeth Chance videos or conversations with Busy. You can find it all under that, and subscribe to me there. And then you'll get an alert that a new episode's dropped. And again, they're dropped every Monday and Wednesday at 6 a.m. Eastern time. All right, that's enough of me. I hope you guys are feeling as good as I am today. And geez, I just want to end with one last story. I watched Kate Hudson. I think that's her last name. My gosh, you guys, that's terrible. I think that's it. Kate is, here we go. Kate, no, it's not Kate Hudson. It's Kate, wait, you guys, this is crazy. If you're still listening to me, you're probably laughing at me at this because it's so funny. And, oh yeah, it's not on here. Oh my gosh, you guys. It's Kate Hopkins. Kate Hopkins. I'm going to end with this. So Kate Hopkins was on, I think it was on a story because I didn't see it under her regular reels, but so somebody went into a restaurant yesterday. She was in Washington, D.C. She's from London or outside of London. And she was very teary. And she said, this freedom we have today, it's like, I can't even believe how great it feels. I hope you guys are feeling this freedom today too. And we'll continue to feel our freedom back and just say, thank you, God. Life is so good. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for always being there and always supporting me. It means the world to me. And I will be back on Monday with a fabulous guest. And until next time, please, you guys, stay knowing that you are not alone. Please know you are not alone and you are loved. Take care, everybody. Talk to you again next Monday. Take care. Bye. Thanks for listening to Conversations with Busy. I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, if you could subscribe, that would mean the world to me. And follow me on all social media. And you can also get my newsletter every Friday morning into your inbox. Just go to elizabethchance.com and subscribe. Take care.